Hello everyone, Lisa from Epic Yarn Gems. Today I am going to be sharing a pattern that I created that is a toilet paper koozie. I put the year 2020 on it simply because one of the things I remember about 2020 is the lack of toilet paper. So I thought if you made a little koozie, put a toilet paper roll under here, you would always have an emergency roll. Um, so I'm sharing this with you for just maybe a little bit of a smile, and I really do hope you enjoy this little pattern I did. This was made with leftover yarn. It is a 4 medium weight, and I did use my 5mm hook. So I guess it's just, kind of a leftover. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with a magic circle. We're going to be building in rows of 12. This top looked a little wonky, but once you got it on the toilet paper and it stretched around a little bit, it did work out. So we're going to do our magic circle by pulling through our yarn, giving it a little twist, and we are going to do a chain 2. After the chain 2, we're going to do an extended single crochet. This is a little different than a normal crochet, but you're going to go into the center, pull up a loop, yarn over, only pull through the first loop, leaving 2 loops on your hook, and then yarning over, pulling through the last 2. This is an extended single crochet. It's somewhere in between a single crochet and half double crochet in height. So I thought it would be nice for the top of this little project that I was working on. So one more time, we're going to go into the center, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop on your hook, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. Uh, last 2 loops on your hook. Boy, sorry, brain kind of just stopped right there. And we are going to do 12 of these into the center of that magic circle. One of the tricks of the magic circle or magic ring, whichever you call it, is to make sure that you have the correct number of stitches to start. If you don't, it's not the end of the world, but it does make it a little odd when you count them off. So the other trick is to pull that center really tight. You can see it got a little, like a bit of a wave in it when I did that. So that kind of persisted through the top of the increases, but once I put it on the toilet paper roll, it stretched it out and it fit really nice. So we're going to start, or actually end that first row after we tighten that up with a slip stitch join. After our slip stitch join, we are going to start our row 2. Each of these rows start with a chain 2, and then for the second row you are going to do in that same space that you have just done the chain 2, you are going to do 2 extended single crochets into that same space. Then you will move on to the next stitch and do 2 extended single crochets in that next space. So once you get done with this row, you should have a total of 24 stitches. Each of your increased rows are going to start with a chain 2, and they are going to end with a slip stitch join. The picture coming up shows you the total amount of increases that you need to do to get to the necessary size. And like I said, this one is worked in rounds of 12. So our increased rows are 1 through 5. At the end of that, you should have a total of 60 stitches in your increase. And this is the top of the koozie. So in row 6, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2 and just do a straight row of those extended single crochets. And this is just giving, a nice finish around that row. In row 7, we're going to make a little bit of a ridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the back loop only. So you can see here is the row we're going to be working on, but we're going into that back loop and we're doing a single crochet. So we are only going under that back strand, not this one, that's the front strand, but into that back one, and we're doing a single crochet. And what this is making is a little bit of like a lip on this. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to be working downward to go around the toilet paper roll. So this is the bend, if you will, of the pattern, so that rather than just continuing to increase and increase, you have a nice transition into the next part of the project. Into row 8, you will do rows 8 through 22, and you're going to do a chain 1. And now for this, we're just going to do a row of straight single crochets. You don't have to worry about back loop, front loop. You're going to go under both of those loops, and you are going to do a single crochet. You are going to do this for rows 8 through 22. At the end of each row, you'll do your slip stitch join, and you should have a total of 60 rows. If you crochet tighter or looser, you may not need this many rows, or you may need more rows, but what I did when I first started this pattern is I just had a roll of toilet paper sitting next to me, and I kept trying this on the toilet paper roll to until it got to the length that it was it fit well. So anyway, so I had my toilet paper model sitting next to me to make sure that this actually fit on there, and you're just going to continue to do that. Once I finished those rows, this measured somewhere between 3.5, 4 inches, but it did fit the toilet paper roll. So now you're going to change color. Do this however works best for you. This is just how I do it. So there's my single crochet. I didn't finish it. So I did the first step, and then I add on my next color, and I finish that single crochet with my color B, if you will. The one thing you want to do is you want to make sure everything is pulled super duper tight, so that it makes a nice transition and you don't have your yarn pull out. So for the next stitch, what we're going to do is we're going to do that slip stitch join, but we're going to do it with the black yarn. The one thing that I do like to do when I change my yarn is I like to lay over my hook the color, just simply because what I like to do there is I just like to weave it in as I go, because I don't really like to weave in all the ends at the end. So I just lay that piece across, and I also lay across when I'm done with a color the primary color, because again, I don't really want to weave in the ends, but do whatever works best for you on how you change color. So for rows 23 and 24, you're going to do a chain 1, and then you're just going to do another row of single crochets, but you're doing it with that secondary color. And what this is doing is making a little bit of a band at the bottom of the cover. So after you get these 2 rows done, we're going to go into the ruffle. And as you can see, I just keep pulling everything tight here because I don't want it to fall apart, and 2, it just makes the transition a little nicer. With single crochets, they are a tight, close stitch to each other. So sometimes you can see, some of the mistakes, which, occasionally we do make as we're going along. But pretty much this is leftover black yarn, and I'm just making the band around the bottom. Once you complete that, you are going to do your slip stitch join, and then you're going to do a chain 2. In that same stitch that you did the chain 2, you are going to put 3 half double crochets into that exact same stitch. Then you're going to move on to your next stitch, and you're going to do 3 half double crochets in there. If you have seen my video on how to make the bonnet scarf combo, this is the same technique used to make the ruffle. Like I mentioned in there, if you want to make it more roughly or less roughly, I'm trying to determine if roughly is a word, and you would put more in each of the stitches or less, or you could do it with a single crochet, or you could do it with a double crochet rather than a half double crochet. But you are going to go all the way around, putting 3 half double crochets in each stitch. And you can see it starting to make that little bit of ruffle. And then when you're done, you're just going to do a slip stitch join. Now, this is the way I put the numbers on here. There are many, many different ways to do this. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of trouble doing this, but what I chose to do was to do a surface crochet with slip stitches. I am not going to go through on how to do this completely with you. I'm not very good at it. I am still learning. I've checked some Pinterest pages out. I've also did some YouTube searches. So I would suggest that however you want to put these numbers on, if you do want to do the surface crochet, just Google that or search it on YouTube because there are a lot better instructions than what I'm doing right here. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit with it. So hopefully in the future I will master this a little bit more and feel more comfortable sharing with you on exactly how to do it. If you want to, glue like felt numbers on it, you can, or you don't have to put any numbers on it at all. But I did not create this pattern to include the numbers in the crocheting just because I wanted it to work up rather quickly. But whatever works for you, numbers, no numbers, however you want to put them on there, I would say go for it. But I I did the the surface crochet, good, bad, or ugly, totally freehand. But I think probably if I would have drawn on here where I wanted to go, it probably would have looked a little better. But anyway, I really appreciate you all stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this crazy little tutorial on, something a little fun to make. And please share out my video or my channels if you would like. I would love to have more people stop by and visit the content here. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I know there's only so many hours in the day, and I appreciate you spending time with me. So, as I say, peace, love, and happiness to you all. Stay safe, and I hope to see you back on the channel some other time. If you do make this project, please post it on my Instagram page so I can see how you worked it up and how you modified it. Also, watch for more content videos coming out here shortly. I will have some yarn reviews, some finished products that I want to share, finished objects. I always want to say products, finished objects, and also probably another giveaway coming up here in the next couple weeks. So, take care. Just wanted to let you also know the gems are doing well. I may actually post a video out here of some of their antics because they are my crochet partners and the channel is named after them. It won't be crochet. It'll just be one of these fun little videos so that you can see what they're up to. If that's of interest to you, let me know. Other than that, I've been babbling here for a while, which typically I try not to do in my videos too much. I like to get them done and to the point. So I am going to stop. I am going to sign off. Take care, all.